Right everyone, it's that time of year. It's the time for my top 14 books of 2014. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting to do this video all year, ever since I put last year's video out, so if you want to see that video I'll leave the link down below. So let's go. I've got some absolutely incredible books to show you, so let's get on with it. These books are in no particular order. I'm just going to show you them, explain to you why I love them so much. Do you know what? I feel super sad and emotional that this is the end of the year, the end of 2014. So, a book I really enjoyed this year was Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott. This is a kind of dystopian, futuristic setting where a girl has to enter a race and if she wins this particular race, she gets a cure for any disease. Her brother is ill, and she enters, and she has to go through these stages, so you don't just go to this race. It's very kind of Maze Runner-esque, where she gets taken in a place and then she wakes up in this box which opens and she's in the middle of a jungle and she has to race through the jungle. There are these creatures in these books which you get given an egg, or you have to go and get an egg actually. It's kind of your initiation into the race, and she gets on and there's like animals, like artificial kind of Pokemon-y animals that help them. It's just so good. I cannot wait for the second book. I really, really recommend this one. It was fantastic. Next, I have a book by one of my favourite authors of all time, is Kate Tiernan, and this is The Darkest Fear, book 1 in the Birthright series. It's about a girl who's on a picnic with her mum and dad on her birthday, and they are murdered in front of her eyes by a jaguar, a big cat, a big wild cat, which is crazy because you don't really get jaguars in wild parks. So she is actually part of this ancient bloodline which can transform themselves into these cats, and she really is against her kind of heritage, and after her parents die she moves with her other family, and she kind of is immersed into this world of shapeshifters, and there's romance in here. She gets to get used to it. People are after her. It's just fantastic. I don't want to give too much away. I could talk about this for ages, but I literally read this book in like a day and it was so fabulous. You guys need to read it. The second book will be coming out really, really soon, and the covers for the books are gorgeous. This is the English cover and the American cover is really beautiful too, so keep an eye out on it. Of course, I'm going to be talking about Half-Blood by Sally Green. This is an absolutely amazing, unique take on witches in modern day England, about a boy who is half white witch, half black witch, and that is kind of like a big kind of taboo, no kind of thing. He is treated like a freak. He needs to come into his powers, but he's trying to find his father, who is the most notorious, worst black witch in the world, and his mother was a really famous white witch, but she's now dead, and it's just like, oh, it's like a race against time, and what's going to happen. The writing in this is absolutely beautiful. And this was one of my most anticipated books of this year. I remember at the end of 2013 I heard this was coming out and I just had to get my hands on a copy, and I did, which was amazing. I actually got my hands on 4 copies. So yeah, I love this book, as you most can tell, so you definitely guys go check this book out. It's really good. A book which I read recently, which I absolutely loved, was Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. This is an awesome take on The Wizard of Oz. It's a modern day take where a girl in modern day goes to Oz in some peculiar circumstance, and she is there basically to save Oz because Dorothy has turned into a very evil person, and she becomes a very important magical person in this book to protect thingy. So you know I love witches, then read this book because everything is flipped. All the baddies in the original story are goodies, and it's just fantastic. I don't normally like retakes on these kind of things, but I absolutely adored this story. It was absolutely incredible, so you definitely need to go and check this book out. It's absolutely brilliant, so check it out. A really cool book I read this month was Hollow Pike by James Dawson. This is like a thriller, mystery. Is it paranormal? Maybe a little bit. I'm not going to talk about too much about this one because it's just absolutely incredible. But this is what it says here at the back. It says, she thought she'd be safe in the country, but you can't escape your own nightmares. And Liz London dreams repeatedly that somebody is trying to kill her. It's kind of like Mean Girls-esque, but with a bit of the craft, yet a bit more kind of like CIA kind of cool kind of mystery thriller. It's really awesome. Perfect book if you're feeling something creepy, and it's just a beautiful book to own as well. Just a beautiful book to own. So I definitely recommend this one. Now, a book that I got sent for a proof and then I bought a copy was The Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld. Now, I really like this book because it's a mix between paranormal, which obviously is my favourite genre of all, and contemporary, which is really great because you know I don't read contemporary that much, and this book really helped ease me into the whole contemporary feel, the whole romance situation. I absolutely loved it. It had LGBT romance in, and that was brilliant, and it was basically about a girl who's written a story and she gets a publishing deal. She moves to New York, but every other chapter is her story about getting the book deal, moving to New York and meeting people, but every other chapter is of her story which she wrote. So you're reading the story she wrote and you are reading her story of becoming a published author, and it's just absolutely incredible. And there is appearances here of famous authors which we know and love, with their names changed a little bit, so it's kind of like, oh, who's this? It's really clever, and Scott Westfield's writing is amazing. This is the first Scott Westfield book I read, and I will definitely be reading more. So good. Of course, I'm going to add in a book from one of my favourite authors of all time, which is Gabriella Lepore. This is Phoenix Holt by Gabriella Lepore. This is a new release she published this year, which is really awesome because she really got the readers involved with picking the cover and all of this good stuff. It says, when Sophie Balster and her twin brothers Sam and Todd are uprooted from their home and sent to a remote boarding school run by their great aunt Ness, they stumble upon a hidden room that holds a secret that will change everything. The people of Phoenix Holt are not what they seem. In fact, nothing is. It's very paranormal, very awesome, about this girl going to this school. You know, things aren't what they seem. It turns out these people are special and they're there for a reason, and it's like, and when the story is so detailed and delicate that when it unravels like a silk scarf. It's beautiful. So I really recommend this, and the cover, guys, is incredible. Amazing. So I really recommend this, and you can buy either the cream copy or the black copy, which is really gorgeous too. So definitely check that out. Amazing. A book which I absolutely adored this month was The Rain by Virginia Bergin. Just one drop will kill you. In America, this book is called H2O, I believe. It's about a girl who's just at a party in England because it's sunny for one day, and she's like, oh my god, guys, this is crazy, it's sunny, let's go and party. So she's at like a barbecue, she's in a hot tub, about to kiss, like lip smack with this guy, and it starts raining, and they're like, oh, get inside, whatever. So anyway, it turns out that the rain kills you. The rain has a little bacterium inside the brain that if it lands on your skin, it kills you practically instantly. It's awful. And this girl is basically left alone in England, or practically possibly in the world, having to try and survive, where you can't drink any water or live off any of the water supplies because it's all tainted by this bacterium. So it's trying to find water. There's scenes where she's like going into supermarkets trying to get food, but there's like fights. You know, it's just absolutely incredible, like scavenging for food, trying to run, trying to get somewhere. It was absolutely brilliant. I cannot wait for the second book, The Storm. But honestly, this book was just amazing. It was such a fantastic read. If you guys like Divergent, Hunger Games and things like that, you would love this book. It's got the same, not the same storyline, it's completely different, but it's got the same feel. It's like when you read it, you know that this series is going to be epic. That's the same with Divergent and the Hunger Games. When you read those books, you know it's going to be epic. And that's what I felt with this book. So really watch out for this one. It's going to be incredible. And I 100% recommend you get a copy because, guys, it's so good. And if you can, try and get the UK edition because the UK cover is gorgeous. Gorgeous, my favourite. I also have Silent Echo, which is an amazing modern take on Greek mythology with a girl who is a mute until the day she witnesses something crazy going on at her friend's house, and she starts to sing and she can control the people around her. She turns out to be a Greek mythological creature, which is really awesome, and something has just popped up on my cam which is confusing me. An amazing adult fiction book I read this year was a sci-fi called The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Kari. Now I'm not going to talk too much about this because on the back of the book here, that's the only blurb you get, and it really is not descriptive. But it's basically about this girl who is chained up every day. She lives in a prison, and the guards come in, lock her into a wheelchair, wheel her into class, she studies, she gets put back in the chamber. Why is she chained up? What's going on? It's very sci-fi. This story is so amazing. If you like adult fiction books, or if you want to have a go at adult fiction books and you're stuck with, you know, you've been reading YA like I have been, this is such a good book to read. It's very fast-paced, creepy, scary. It's like there's this massive siege on this place where they are, and it's like, oh, what's going to happen? We need to survive. You just need to read this. Honestly, every single book I'm telling you in this video right now, you should read. It's amazing, and this one is just incredible. Incredible. And the cover as well. I mean, I think the cover's the same in America, but I read this in the summer and I could not put it down. And this is the first adult fiction book I've ever read, and I'm so glad I read it. Of course, I'm going to be talking about Branded this month, which is a book by Abby Kettner and Missy Calcrease. Kalikriski. She always laughs because I can never say her name, although she's taught it to me about 100 times. Now, of course, I'm going to add this book in because I fell in love with this book this year, and yeah, it was just incredible. What a fantastic read, a dystopian about this world where there's this guy, the general, who has set out rules, and he thinks that everything is punishable thanks to the 7 deadly sins, and that if you commit a crime, it is thanks to the 7 deadly sins. So you get branded if you are found of a crime, and different colours mean the different sins. So you're getting me, and they get moved into this place called the Hole, which I envision as New York but broken down, like rubbish, you know, crushed buildings, like desolate, like surrounded by a big wall. That's what I think the Hole is, and it's about this girl who is branded with lust, even though she's not committed anything of lust. She's not done anything wrong, and she falls in love with a guard, and there's an epic romance. This book made me cry, laugh. Honestly, like, I don't cry at books often, and this book made me cry, and so did another book I'm going to show you, but I'm sure you can guess. And I love the authors, and they've been amazing this year for me, and yeah, this book is just amazing, and I know a lot of you have already got this book, so definitely read it and let me know what you think. It's so good. This next book isn't going to surprise any of you, and it's The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I finally read it this year after having it on my shelf for 2 years. I know I'm awful, but you know what? It was an absolutely amazing read. I read it before I watched the film. Both things broke my heart. I cried so much in the film, and I cried in this book. So I'm not going to talk too much about this because you all know, but it's a contemporary, and I read a contemporary, and it was just beautifully done. Oh, the feels were so raw feels though. I love this book. Now, this next book I read, I think, at the beginning of the year, and it's The Ring and the Crown by Melissa de la Cruz. It was so good. It was like a fantasy from like 7 different points of view, which all entwine with each other, and it's just like, I just can't get over how amazing this book was. It was sent to me by a viewer, actually, so thank you so much. And the cover, I need to take a picture of this book today because this book is really worth it. But this book was incredible. It was so amazing though. And I'm like, I can't believe, like, it's an amazing read. It's really quick, really snappy, and I love how she's got Beyonce quoted in this. I'm not even joking, she has Beyonce quoted in this. And it's absolutely fantastic. And you know what? This is a reread. This is a reread, guys. Go check this book out and read Goodreads page about it, because it was amazing. So good. I need some more Melissa de la Cruz books. I need. Last but not least is my last favourite book of 2014, which is The Diviners, which was the first book I read in 2014 by Libba Bray. And as soon as I read this book, I knew that it would be on my list because it is just incredible. It was a beast of a book. But do you know what? I have never read something so awesome. It's set in like 1920s, I believe, very jazz, in New York, in Harlem. And it's about this kind of group of people who kind of are called the Diviners, but they don't know they are in the first book. It's kind of like a build-up. This girl can like touch objects and touch things and get like the imprint of what's on this object. And she meets other people and they all have weird things, but she doesn't know of it until the end of the book, and it's just blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, oh, so good. It's like a mystery thriller as well. It was so creepy. So creepy. This book freaked me out. There's like a song which this guy sings, and I actually made 2 of my colleagues buy this book, and they both read it and loved it. So if you haven't read The Diviners or any Libba Bray things, read them because she is incredible. Her writing is magnificent. Well, there you have it, guys. There are all the books that I fell in love with this year for 2014. Thanks for such an amazing year. I'm so thankful for these books too. What a great year it's been. I really look forward to seeing all your guys' top 14s of 2014. Do share this video around on Twitter and Instagram or wherever you like. And yeah, definitely go watch my last year's video if you haven't already. Here's to 2015 for it to be an amazing year. Woohoo! And I look forward thoroughly to what books will be in my wrap-up next year. And I'm looking at my TBR shelf now saying one of you could be in my thing. And I have no idea which ones because I haven't read you yet. Problems. Thanks so much for watching. I will leave all my social media links down below, and plus all the links down below for Book Depository for all these books. Definitely go and buy them. They are incredible, and I get a small commission, which helps me out, and you get free delivery, so thank you so much if you use it, but don't feel like you have to, obviously. My Instagram link's down below, so if you want to come see some arty shots of all these books and everything exciting, come there. And I look forward to seeing you in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.